إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار عباد الله يقول الله جل وعلا إن الله يخلق ما يشاء ويختار. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, the translation of which is, Allah creates what He wills and He chooses. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He created the skies and the earth and all that is in them from the animals and the trees and the mountains. And He chose from these creations al-insan. And He perfected their creation as Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, خلق السماوات والأرض وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ وَإِلَيْهِ الْمَصِيرُ. He said He created the skies and the earth and He shaped you and He made your shape perfect and to Him you will return. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He's chosen Bani Adam and He has preferred Bani Adam and He has given him the qualities that He hasn't given other than him from intellect and understanding, that which he can understand the reality of affairs. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He took from Bani Adam this amana. He took from the children of Adam this trust. A trust that was something that the skies and the earth and the mountains themselves were fearful from. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, إِنَّا أَرَدْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ فَأَبَيْنَ أَنْ يَحْمِلْنَهَا وَأَشْفَقْنَ مِنْهَا وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانِ إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says that verily we gave the option of this trust to the skies and the earth and the mountains. So they refused to carry it and they were fearful of it, but mankind carried it. Verily He was one that was oppressive and ignorant. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He clarified this amana that He took from us so that we could understand what it is and we will not be in confusion in our life, not understanding the reason of our existence. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He said about this, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And I did not create the jinn and the ins or mankind except to worship me. So this is the purpose of our life. So those individuals who carry out this purpose, فَهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ حَقًّا, then these are those who have true iman. And those who betray this trust, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ, then it is these who are the people of kufr and disbelief. And Allah Azza wa Jal informed us that because of this affair, because of this ibadah, the people separated into two groups. As He Azza wa Jal, He said, as Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ فَمِنْكُمْ كَافِرٌ وَمِنْكُمْ مُؤْمِنٌ وَإِلَيْهِ فَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ فَمِنْكُمْ كَافِرٌ وَمِنْكُمْ مُؤْمِنٌ وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. He is the one who created you. So from you are those who commit kufr, and from you are those who have iman, and Allah sees well all that you do. Allah Azza wa Jal, He knows us, He knows our actions, and He sees all that we do. And in considering this, we need to pay attention to a very important fact, And that is the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inna Allah la yanzuru ila suwarikum wa amwalikum, walakin yanzuru ila qulubikum wa a'malikum. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that Allah, He doesn't look at our shapes. He doesn't look at the shapes that He perfected. Wala amwalikum, nor the money that He's given you. Walakin yanzuru ila qulubikum wa a'malikum. Instead, He looks at your hearts and your actions. So those individuals who carry out this trust with their heart and on their actions, يَعْبُدُونَ اللَّهَ دَاخِلًا وَظَاهِرًا بَاطِنًا وَظَاهِرًا, then these are those individuals that Allah Azza wa Jalla has preferred. And those who betray this trust, then these are from the most wicked of mankind. And there's no doubt that Allah Azza wa Jalla has preferred those who have this iman, those who have these righteous actions, those who possess this taqwa over other than them. As Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, this group of individuals that Allah preferred over other than them, Allah addresses them by saying, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. Allah, He says, addressing us, He says, O mankind, we created you from a male and a female, and we made you tribes and groups that you might know each other. Verily, those that are the most honorable amongst you are those that have the most taqwa. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, clarifying this matter, that the people of Iman are better, and the people who betray this trust are the worst. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ شَرُّ الْبَرِيَّةِ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ خَيْرُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, those who disbelieved from the people of the book and those who committed shirk, إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين are in the fire of the hell. They are the worst of creation. Those who have iman, verily those who have iman and work righteous deeds, it is these who are the best of creation. So it's understood that the people of iman are better than them. And Allah Azza wa Jal, after clarifying this, He clarified that it's incumbent upon us to love the people of Iman. And نُحِبُّهُمْ وَنَوَالِيهِمْ, that we love them and we show support and friendship to them. And that we hate kufr and its people, and that we free ourselves from them. And Allah Azza wa Jalla informed us that there's enemy between us and them until the day of judgment. Since the time of our father Ibrahim and those before him, until our time now, this is the case. There is a difference between the people of Iman and the people of Kufr. And it's necessary that we love the people of Iman and support them, and that we hate Kufr and its people. And indeed, from the sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jal is that every time a servant draws closer to Him by following the way of His messengers, the enmity of these kuffar will become greater. As Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا مِنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. And like this, we made for every prophet an enemy from those who are criminals. So just like these criminals hated the prophets because of what they had from Iman, and because of what they came with from the obedience of Allah and His messengers, then likewise, every time a servant follows their way, then the hatred of these criminals will be even more intensified to him in that amount. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ. They didn't have any animosity towards them, except that they had iman in Allah, the mighty, the praiseworthy. And Allah forbade you from this friendship with them. And He clarified that their hatred is for no other reason than that you had iman. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لا تتخذوا عدوي وعدوكم أولياء تلقون إليهم بالمودة وقد كفروا بما جاءكم من الحق يخرجون الرسول وإياكم أن تؤمنوا. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, oh, you who have iman, don't take my enemies and your enemies as awliya, as friends and protectors. تلقون إليهم بالمودة, giving them love. وقد كفروا, in spite of the fact that they disbelieved. وَقَدْ كَفَرُوا بِمَا جَاءَكُم مِّنَ الْحَقِّ, they disbelieved in what came to you from the truth. They expelled the messenger in yourselves. يُخْرِجُونَ الرَّسُولَ وَإِيَّاكُمْ أَن تُؤْمِنُوا. They expelled the messenger in yourselves for no other reason that you have iman, for no other reason than your iman. But Allah Azza wa Jalla clarified that those who master this iman and who master this patience and this taqwa by obeying Allah and His messenger, that the enmity of his enemies won't harm him. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا. And if you have patience and taqwa, you will not be harmed by their plots in the least. Yes, perhaps you might get annoyed, perhaps you might be bothered. As Allah Azza wa Jalla said, لَن يَضُرُّكُمْ إِلَّا أَذًى. They won't bother you with they won't harm you with anything more than annoyance. But even this harm and annoyance that they do, Allah Azza wa Jal, He has promised and threatened those that do it from them with war. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He said in the Hadith al-Qudsi, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, as recorded by Bukhari, that Abu Hurairah said, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إن الله تعالى قال من عاد لي وليا وفي الرواية من آذى لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب ولا يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه وما تقرب إلي عبدي بشيء أحب إلي مما افترضته عليه ولا يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه فإذا أحببت كنت سمعه الذي يسمع بي وبصره الذي يبصر بي ويده التي يبطش بها ورجله التي يمشي بها ولئن سالني لأعطينه ولئن استعاذني لأعيذنه وما ترددت في شيء أنا فاعله ترددي عن نفس المؤمن يكره الموت وأنا أكره مساءته. Allah Azza wa Jalla clarified the ways that you will be safe and the ways that you will accomplish the good in this life and the next. So He said in the Hadith Qudsi that whoever is an enemy to my awliya, or whoever bothers my awliya, then I have declared war against him. And my servant doesn't draw closer to me with anything more beloved to me than that which I have made obligatory upon him. And my servant will not cease to draw closer to me with voluntary acts until I love him. And when I love him, I become the hearing which he hears with, and the sight which he sees with, and the hand which he stretches forth with, and the foot that he walks with. And if he asks me, I give to him. And if he seeks refuge in me, I give him refuge. And I don't go back and forth about anything that I'm going to do the way I go back and forth about the soul of my servant. He dislikes death, and I dislike to make him unhappy. And I dislike making him unhappy. Like this, O servants of Allah, if you want Allah to keep you safe in your own self from the plots of your enemies, and you want Allah to keep Islam safe from the plots of its enemies, from the Imaniyin, the secularists, and the people of the book, and the kuffar in general, then there's no other way to accomplish this except by the worship of Allah. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَكَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا نَصْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And it was an obligation upon us to help those who have iman. This is the way victory is accomplished. Victory is not accomplished by any other way except iman in Allah Azza wa Jal. So what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these groups of people who still think that these innovative ways will be successful? They think that democracy will prevail. They think that this terrorism is the way to bring about rectification. Or they think that unifying with the people of innovation so that the Muslims can present a unified front in spite of these fundamental differences is the way to salvation. Or even worse than that. Even worse than that which we see in our own community from those individuals who think that the way to peace, the way to victory, is that we say that all the religions are one. Ittihadul Adyan. They say that it's okay. La wallah. This is not the way of victory. This is not the way of success. Victory was for those who have Iman and none other than them. Indeed, O servants of Allah. Indeed, O servants of Allah, leave alone these individuals. Leave these individuals who don't establish the commandments of Allah. They don't obey His rules and His regulations. They don't pray in the Jama'ah. Let alone, perhaps they don't pray on their own. They don't give zakat. They don't fast. They shave their beards. They drag their garments. They are alone with women and men. They show love and affiliation to the kuffar. But when it comes to the rulers of the Muslims, then they hate them. They disobey them. They go against the ulama. They establish mudaharat with thawrat. They establish boycotts and protests and revolutions because they claim that this is the way to get their rights. But indeed, if they had obeyed Allah, then they would have gotten their rights and Allah would have protected them. As Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ خَوَّانٍ كَفُورٍ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, verily Allah will defend those who have Iman. If you find that your enemies are attacking you, you find that the enemies of Islam are attacking it, you find Islam to be in a state of danger, then the answer to this is that we have not fulfilled this trust. Because Allah will defend those who have Iman, but Allah does not love those who break their trust. This amana, are we carrying it out? Are we worshipping Allah day and night? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ خَوَّانٍ كَفُورٍ. Indeed, Allah does not love those who break their trust, those who disbelieve. So if you want success for yourself, O servant of Allah, and for this nation in general, فَأُوصِيكُمْ بِتَقْوَى اللَّهِ, then I advise you with the taqwa of Allah, for indeed this is the only way to get success. And verily those who have taqwa, إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى نَصْرِهِمْ لَقَدِيرٌ. Indeed Allah is able to give them victory. إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. O servants of Allah, in this hadith, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He promised that those who carry out His worship, what is obligatory from it and that which is extra, He'll give them what they ask. And He'll keep them safe and He'll give them protection. So anything that you want from Allah, if you worship Him, He'll give it to you. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ رَزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, and I did not create the jinn or mankind except to worship me. I don't want them to provide for me, nor do I need them to feed me. Verily Allah is the provider, the one with complete power. Allah, if you worship Him, He's promised to provide for you. So if you find hardships in your provisions, then look at your worship. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Command your family with salah and be patient therein. We don't ask for you to provide for us, we provide for you. And the end is for those who have taqwa. Call to the sunnah. Call the people to Islam. Command with salah. Be patient upon that and Allah will provide for you. And if you find hardships in your life, then know it's due to a deficiency in that. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, about his prophet Nuh. وَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدَكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا Tubu ila Allah ya ibadallah. Make tawbah to Allah, O servants of Allah. Because indeed, like Allah said about his prophet Noah, I said to them, seek Allah's forgiveness. You'll see, verily he is forgiving and merciful. He'll send down the rain in abundance upon you. And he'll give you children and money. And he'll make for you gardens and he'll make for you rivers. If you want your worldly life to be good, worship Allah. For verily the servant, when Allah loves him, he gives him what he asks. This is in his personal. And likewise his community. You want Islam to be victorious. You want Islam to be the uppermost. Allah, he says, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمُ الَّذِي ارْتَضَىٰ لَهُمْ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ لا تحسبن الذين كفروا معجزين في الأرض ومأواهم النار ولبئس المصير. This is how you accomplish this success for the Muslims in this world. Allah, he says, he promised those who have iman from you and work righteous deeds that he'll give them the leadership in the earth like he gave it to those before them. You want leadership, worship Allah, and he will establish their religion. Nothing you do on your own will establish the religion. No boycott, no protest, no revolution, no picketing. The religion is established by Allah. And he'll establish this religion when you worship it. When you follow that which his messenger came with. As he said, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. He's the one who sent his messenger with the guidance in the true religion to make it victorious over all other religions. It is Allah who does this. Likewise, you want safety for the Muslims. You're tired of people ridiculing you. You're tired of being ashamed. You don't want to put your thobe on because you're worried what they'll say. You don't want to grow your beard because you're worried that you'll get in trouble. You want to remove this fear. Allah promised to remove this fear and turn it into safety when you do what? يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا. They worship me and they don't give me any partners. But if you doubt this promise of Allah, after it's become clear, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ, and whoever disbelieves after this, you don't think that Allah will do it just that easily, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Then it is these who are the wicked ones. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla clarifies some ways to worship him. So he says, and establish the salat and give the zakat and obey Allah, and obey the messenger, that you might have mercy. And when some of those people who are weak in their intellect and in their religion might see the kuffar with what they have from money and what they have from numbers and provisions and technology, say, how can we beat them? How can we be successful over them? Allah, he says, لا تحسبن الذين كفروا معجزين في الأرض. Don't think that those who commit kufr will escape in this earth. وَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ وَلَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. And their abode will be the hellfire, and what an evil place to end up. So I say, O servants of Allah, establish the commandments of Allah. Addul fara'id. Establish the obligatory actions and increase it with voluntary actions. Allah will love you. As he said, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. If you love Allah, then obey me, then follow me, I am the messenger. Allah will love you. And this is the way to get success. And know that when you have this, Allah Azza wa Jalla has guaranteed you success. So he said, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَيَخْشَى اللَّهَ وَيَتَّقِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَائِزُونَ. And whoever obeys Allah and his messenger, and he fears Allah, and he has taqwa, then it is these who will be successful. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ.